Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for being here, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Very active already. You guys been here for a while, huh? Of course, the reigning, ruling queen of Super Chat Cherry Poppin', Miss Pepsi Girl. Hey, who are you? Gaga. You know who that is. And you know what? Since we're talking about Kamala, the Ugandan nightmare, our cackler in chief, the politician who went horizontal so her career could go vertical.
Are up about.
Hold on. I got something for her, or from her, by her. And it's more word salad. You know what? Let's get into it right now. Since, I've been trying to eat healthy. I've been eating more salad. Let me give you some salad, huh? Here we go.
Today, the business of our work is for the council to report on the work that has occurred since our last meeting across these areas. We will today also discuss the work yet ahead, the work we must still do to move forward.
Guys, it's about the work. Okay, if it doesn't work, then stop the work. Go ahead and work. And when you're done working, try to work. See if it works. What? She said about 25 words right there and didn't say shit. She is the verbal equivalent of a dog chasing its tail. Are you guys dizzy? I feel dizzy after I listen to her. Like I was just spun around. Like I just played pin the tail on the donkey. Someone blindfolded me and spun me around in a circle 3 times. I feel dizzy. My equilibrium is off when I hear this woman talk. Because she's just talking in circles. That's why I call her the human salad shooter. Remember that commercial? Salad shooter. She's the human version. What the fuck did she just say except work a bunch of times? It's about the work that we put in, the work across these fields of work. Now let's make it work. Okay, that's almost like when Biden said, well, think about what you think about. You guys ever thinking about what you were thinking about? Think about it. And he always says it too. Think about it. You think about it. You think about it more before you let it come out of your mouth. Because what comes out of that hole under your nose, it's frightening sometimes. I'm kidding. All the time. But before we do anything else, guys, before we get in that ass, like a bike with no seat, happy birthday shout out to Hubert. You guys are asking, Jericho's, who's Hubert? Well, you know the Canadian connection, and you see him here in the comment section all the time, Christian, that hoser. What are you tagging to be? Well, his son is turning 22 today. His son is not only his son, but he's a proud member of the Canadian military. Shout out to you, man. 22 years old. Got his shit together. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't quite have my shit together at 22. Sounds like Hubert does. Happy birthday, man. I assume the legal drinking age in Canada is 21, at least 18 or 21, probably 21. Have a cold one with your pops. And if you have more than one cold one, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, make sure you get some water in there, Hubert. It'll save your head from bumping tomorrow. It'll stop all that, okay? Please, everybody in the comment section, if you're not too busy being pleh, take a break from your plehness and wish Hubert a happy birthday. Thank you very much. Hey, and in Canada, you guys sing the happy birthday song that we sing down here? Happy birthday, that same melody? Or you guys have a different one? Something that talks about mousse and maple syrup. Just kidding. Just picking that low-hanging fruit. But seriously, do Canadian people have the same, they sing the same happy birthday that we do? Roarback says in French. Do you guys sing in French? I don't know. Let me know. I'm not big on, I'm not up on my Canadian culture. Oh, and here he is. Speaking of the Canadian devil, What's up, Christian? He says, hey, mofo, shout out to all of us hosers. My boy turns 22 today, and he is a proud member of the Canadian Army. Plus, shout out to my lovely wife, Melanie. Age limit is 19. Oh, that's okay, 19. So is that like, because down here, 18 would be the legal, not the legal drinking age. Legal drinking age here is 21. But like when you're 18, you're legally an adult. So you can buy cigarettes and lottery tickets and shit like that, but no alcohol yet. That's a trip, 19. Okay, well, thank you for that piece of info. And again, happy birthday to Hubert. So, guys. Oh, the thumbnail. I was excited. I mentioned this yesterday at the end of my live, and I was excited to play this piece of audio for you guys. This is the new Prime Minister of Italy. She's the first female one, but who gives a shit, right? Who cares? That's not the point. I mean, look at our first female vice president. Look what a turd she is. Not saying at all that Giorgia Meloni is going to be like that, but I'm just saying, first female, first color, who gives a shit? But the important thing is she has conservative values. And I'm going to play a part of a speech that she did in 2019. Shit gave me goosebumps the first time I heard it, and I don't even speak Italian. But I'm going to let her, I'm going to play the part of the speech, just part of it. It's all in Italian, and then I wrote it down, and I'll read it in English. But man, oh man, that woman has zero bullshit in her. Zero. And you can tell by all those speaking against her that she is genuinely the way that she presents herself in her speeches and to the Italian people, which is why they voted her in. Because when the mainstream mediocres and those empty suit turd politicians, I call them appendix politicians because we could do without them quite well. When they are against something, when they're calling something, well, this time, since she's from Italy, they're calling her Musollini. That's the Italian version of Hitler. He actually partnered with Hitler in World War II. So that's basically calling her Hitler. When they start throwing those words around and those names, you know the person's right. You know the person's on the right track and they're doing the right thing. Because if they're against it, it's right. It's good because they're evil. So if they're for it, that's when you got to worry. That's when your red flags and your spidey senses and the hair on the back of your neck or wherever your hair comes up on your body when you get nervous, wherever your hair stands up, that's when you have to think twice, when they support it. If they're against it, then you know where you need to go. You go against them every time and you'll be right. But I can't wait to play that speech for you because it's powerful. And maybe the fact that it's in another language kind of adds a nostalgic feel to it. Like when you listen to those old speeches from the leaders from back then, the Churchills and everything, it just sounded different. People talk different, like in America in the 30s and 40s. I would say the 20s, 30s, and 40s. You had this kind of the newscasters and the people in the media, and even some of the citizens. They all kind of talk like this here. Now, come on. The boys are coming home. The Nazis have surrendered, and the Japanese. They kind of had that. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that's an accent from somewhere, but they all kind of had that sound. But it's a great speech. I can't wait to play it. Again, Hoser, thank you. He says, and in Canada, Hoser is what you say when you can't say a bad word. Strange Brew, Bob, and Doug McKenzie. Oh, so Hoser, that's like calling someone a butthole instead of an asshole. You're being a real hoser, don't you know? I got to learn more Canadian slang so I can say more shit. Teach me some more Canadian slang. But yeah, if you got the left saying it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's good. If they say it's good, it's bad. Just go in the opposite direction. Also, something I forgot to mention the other day when I talked about Biden's 600-minute speech. I mean, it was on 60 Minutes, but it felt like 600. It felt like 6,000 minutes. But one of the things that they showed on there was when him and the interviewer were in the White House, he had a rosary wrapped around his hand like he's a priest. And the guy goes, and the president carries a rosary in his pocket. What? tell you how I feel about that in a minute. And then there's a film or something or a TV show on Netflix about Jeffrey Dahmer. And the Alphabet Soup Group is upset because they feel it portrays Alphabet Soup Group members in a bad light. Yeah, he was a serial killer. He happened to be on your team, but he was a serial killer. You hear any straight people crying about the Ted Bundy documentary that they did or the Richard Ramirez documentary that they did on Netflix? Anyway. And one more thing. Oh, yeah. The hurricane. Hurricane. Let me write it down. Hurricane Ian. Bearing down on Florida right now. It's supposed to hit land. F4, I believe, or however, I think F4s. But that's the strength with which it's going to hit Florida. And shout out to Megan McGlover. If you don't know who that is, follow her on YouTube, follow her on Instagram. Great follow, intelligent, funny, articulate, all that good stuff. And shout out to my man Craig Long 45. You can also find him on YouTube under that name and on Instagram. Great follow. Same thing, articulate, intelligent, funny, all the good things you look for in a YouTuber. But they're both in Florida and they're both dealing with this hurricane. So shout out to them. I hope they're safe. Their belongings are safe, mainly their person and their family. And they're friends of mine. So I just wanted to, give them a shout out, text them earlier. Hope everything's all right. Hope all Floridians make it through this with minimal damage. I hope when it hits land, it's nothing. I hope they're bracing for it. And when it hits land, it just sky opens up, sun shines down, birds are chirping, alligators are making whatever fucking noise they make. But actually, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen because I'm not really worried. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact, 100%, that by the time that hurricane makes landfall, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing at all. You know why? Because you guys remember, was it yesterday? I believe it was yesterday or Saturday. But chocolate patty, why'd I call it that? I think I called it that because remember peppermint patty Saki was in there, the ginger, and then this she's small and dark skin, small chocolate. I call her chocolate patty. That's what I'm gonna call her. That's what I'm gonna call the new White House press secretary. She followed peppermint patty. Now we have chocolate patty. So chocolate patty the other day said that Biden's Build Back Better. I always want to say Build Back Butter. Biden's Build Back Butter plan and the Inflation Reduction Act had an effect on climate change, and it will have a positive effect on hurricane season. We all heard that, right? I'm not kidding. I'm not bullshitting. She said that Biden's Build Back Better plan and his Inflation Reduction Act will have a positive effect. It will soften the blow of hurricane season. So Biden can't stop on a bike. He can't go upstairs. He looks over when he's done talking and shakes hands with imaginary people. He doesn't know where the exit from the stage is, but now his plan is so effective, he's transcended the economy. He's transcended inflation. He's affecting weather patterns now. When are you guys going to realize what we have at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? We have a damn demigod. He's not even all human. I think we knew that from the beginning, right? I don't think any of us had any doubt that it was a possibility that he's not human. But he's hovering above us. He's looking down on his minions because he is affecting weather. So all you Floridians who are evacuating and you're packing shit, you got your emergency, put that stuff away. What you need to be doing with your selfish asses You need to be sitting down somewhere and writing a thank you note to Bidenus Pervertus. That's what you need to be doing, because if it wasn't for him, your ass would be washed out to sea with another hurricane. You ungrateful little bastards. Huh? Florida. Pen, paper. Dear Lord Biden. You don't call him president. How dare you? You insult that man. Dear Lord Biden. Matter of fact, dear Lord and Savior Biden, because he's saving your lives. Let's be honest. Thank you so much for making this hurricane less than what it would have been before you. Thank you for saving our property, our lives, our pets and shit. You know how many pets get sucked up or blown away with hurricanes? Not this time. Because he has the Build Back Better plan and the Inflation Reduction Act. What more do you want? You ungrateful little bastards. You ungrateful little tax ID numbers. Write it down, Florida. It came from Chocolate Patty, so you better believe it. This man is affecting weather patterns. None the miser. Don't do that. I told you guys, no play today. Damn, none the miser. He says, dear potato brain. That's not what I told him to write. Dear Lord and Savior Biden, don't listen to none the miser. Okay? Don't. Dear Lord and Savior Biden, and pour out your heart. All of it. And we also know that none the miser is lying because he does not have a potato for a brain. There is a dead mouse inside of his head. We know that. Guys, let's check in on our poll. Checking on our poll. Let's see how many votes we have. See, maybe we hit 15,000 or something. I don't know. Let's see. Let's check it out. Uh-oh. That was weird. YouTube just stopped. All right. We've had 1,000 more votes since yesterday. Yesterday, we were at 11,000. Today, we're at 12,000. At 12,000 votes. And remember, the poll question is, you can still vote now. Who is more fit to run the country, Biden or a dead cat? All right, let me know what you think. I expressed my views on this yesterday. Okay, so what do you think? You guys don't know that? What? Whoa, you thought Mother Nature controlled itself? Not since the Build Back Better plan. That's the stupidest shit you've ever heard. Shut up, Chocolate Patty. Christian, your holder, thank you again. A great shout out to Lord German Husbando, the Ferg, Tammy A, Faye Knox, and Ms. Pepsi. Girl. There you go. They've all been shouted out. You feel that? All the people I just named, you feel that? You know what that feeling is? Being shouted out. Brian King B. Falcon, again with the pleb behavior. He says, Darkwing Biden. Now, how are you going to besmirch one of the great cartoon characters from my childhood? Huh? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell, Brian. I just got upset. I used to like Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, you call DW. Huh? Let's get dangerous. Don't you dare. Don't you dare get that man's name anywhere near some of my childhood favorites. Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, you call DW. You can't call Biden when there's trouble. You know why? Because he caused the trouble. The salty New Yorican. Thank you for the thing. Super sticker. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Bienvenue. Thank you. Come on in. What movie is that from? Huh? Hoser, again, thank you. He says, and one thing your cupcake Navy training never got you ready for is a Hoser bear hug when we meet. I don't know if there's a training out there to prepare us for that. I don't think it exists. Okay, cool. Then we got Una más super chat. Miss Pepsi Girl, again, thank you. We trust in Biden. 81 million strong. Be nice, JG. You know you're right. Sometimes I need people in the comment section to set me straight. I shouldn't be talking about that old man like that with his haggard, worn out brain. This beat up. His brain is like a homeless person's shoes. You ever see an outdoor drug addict? I need to stop calling them homeless people. He has like, his brain is like an outdoor drug addict's shoes. You ever seen him? Not the right size, all torn up, holes, worn out, foot's probably sticking out. That's Biden's brain. Victoria Damon, thank you very much. As a true Floridian, we never evacuate. We stay in our homes while wrestling alligators, cooking meth, and eating grits. Hold on. I need to give that comment the gravitas it deserves. As a true Floridian, we never evacuate. We stay in our homes while wrestling alligators, cooking meth, and eating grits. Love your videos, Jericho. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Victoria Damon. And I hope in your staying home and wrestling gators and all that you stay safe. But really, don't worry about it, Victoria, because, again, Biden got your back. He told the hurricanes, chill out. But here's the question, Victoria, which is my daughter's middle name. Savory grits or sweet grits? What do you think of that? Joe Curry says Farina is better than grits. I agree. But I'm not mad at some grits. If grits show up, I'm not upset at all. Yeah, all that shit. So let's do some good guns, shall we? And since I talked about Shay Williams wants to know blue meth or clear. Might have a customer there. So I figure since Philadelphia is popular right now for all the wrong reasons, those savages, I compared them to those monkeys you see in like those foreign countries that just like ransack and run through towns and shit, grabbing food and babies and shit and running off into the forest. That's what I compared it to, because that's what it looked and sounded like. The one where the girls at the counter, stores being all fucked up. She's like, are you guys going to make more sandwiches or just keep recording? What do you think, you idiot? The store's being robbed. I'm not going to make your damn sandwich. But Philly is just doing its thing. Philly is nipping at the heels of Baltimore and Chicago. They're making, and New York, they're really making a name for themselves. But I don't think this is the kind of name you wanted to make, Philly, but whatever. This says, Dollar General manager fatally shoots would-be robber in North Philly police. In North Philly, police say. It's like I tell my kids, you have to observe the punctuation. And a comma does call for a pause. The 36-year-old man was shot as he attempted to rob the store with an implied weapon that turned out to be a toy gun. You dumb son of a bitch. Why are you robbing people at 36? That makes you think of something. That makes you think of something somebody young would do. It's no excuse, but it's behavior you expect from somebody young that doesn't know better. You're 36 years old. It pains me to say, but you probably have kids at that age. I hope not. I hope you had some kind of scrotum accident when you were young and you were unable to reproduce, because you're a dumbass. Here we go. A 38-year-old man was fatally shot by a Dollar General manager during an attempted robbery inside a store on Thursday night in North Philadelphia. North Philly, every time I read about something bad happening, it's in North Philly. Around 8:40 p.m., the suspect entered the Dollar General located, blah, blah, blah. I hate when they give the address. The suspect implied he had a gun in his jacket pocket. Police discovered later that it was a toy gun covered in a black plastic bag that was held in place with rubber bands. The female employee asked for the store manager's help. The manager tried to talk the suspect out of continuing the attempted robbery. Wait a minute. Guys, wow. Okay, wow. Hold on. So this says that the manager tried to talk the suspect out of continuing the attempted robbery. Look, because he's talking close. He don't want to scare the other customers, even though they're in North Philly, so they probably see this shit all the time. Hey, man, hey, look, you don't need to do this. Just walk out. You haven't committed any crime. You haven't stolen anything. You haven't hurt anybody. Please, man, just go. Just walk out of here, man. Go ahead. Get out of here. Just won't call the police or nothing. Just don't do this, man. Get out of here. Huh? You think that's probably how it went down? I think so. Because the reason I stopped and the reason I was so shocked is because the mainstream mediocres and all these blue check marks and these stupid ass politicians, they all talk about gun violence because the gun is the source of the violence. The gun, it's the gun that's doing it, not the person. Like when the gun gets in your hand, you just, I'm a gun owner. I gotta kill somebody. I have a gun. I own a gun legally. I need to murder. That's what they tell us. They say gun owners, people that having guns is the problem. The gun, not the person wielding it. Not them. It's the gun violence. It's the gun that's the cause of this violence. So we could choke off the supply of guns and we could just make guns harder to get for the law-abiding citizen, not for the criminal because they don't give a fuck about laws. That's why we call them criminals. But if we can just make it hard for people to get guns and all this gun violence will go away because gun owners are violent people. I got a gun. I got a murder. Right? So if that manager who, spoiler alert, he legally has a gun on him. It's legal for him to carry the gun that he's about to use on this dumbass. Spoiler alert, it's legal. So then why did he try to talk this man out of it? Why did he try to avoid pulling the gun that he knows he has on him? Why would he do that? If the gun is the source of the violence, then why didn't it hop out of that holster, rest itself against his head, and pull its own trigger? Why didn't that guy turn into the legal gun owner murder monster and just pull his gun out and shoot him? Why talk to him? Why try to talk him down? Why? If you own a gun and that makes you inherently violent, because it's the gun, it's not you. No, get that out of here. Get out of here, personal responsibility, and don't come back. So if they absolve you of the personal responsibility because it's the gun, so when you get it in your hand, I gotta kill somebody, man. I can't help it. Here, if I put the gun down, I'm good now. I don't want to hurt. No, I don't want to hurt anybody. But if I pick this fucking gun back up, because it's the gun, right? When you pick up a gun, you got to murder. Just like when you put your hand on a titty, you got to squeeze it. Right? Isn't that why? Why are you putting your hand on a titty if you ain't going to squeeze it? Why are you putting your hand on a gun and you ain't going to kill somebody with it? Why do you own a gun and you're not a murderer? But damn it, here, I'll read it again. Yeah, that's what it says. It says, female employee asked for the store manager's help, and the store manager tried to talk the suspect out of continuing the attempted robbery. He tried to stop him. Don't do this, man. Nah, 36-year-old dipshit wasn't hearing it. The suspect apparently refused to back down, and the store manager then, hold on, before I finish, how much money do you think he was going to get from a Dollar General in North Philly? Anyway, the suspect apparently refused to back down, and the store manager then produced a handgun from a concealed holster, and it was caught on store surveillance. It is unclear if the suspect revealed his fake gun from his pocket, but he appeared to gesture in a threatening way, and the store manager fired 2 shots. The suspect, who was not identified, was shot in the head and was pronounced dead at the scene by responding medics. No one else was injured. So you forced that man, and even though he had the gun, but the reason he had the gun was you. You're the reason he had the gun, 36-year-old unidentified jackass. It's because of you. Because of motherfuckers like you running around the neighborhood. It's probably not the first time they've been robbed. You forced that man to draw his weapon and end your life. Now, contrary to popular belief, just because you own a gun does not mean you want to use it. That's the last thing you want, is to be put in a position where you have to take somebody's life. But what's the alternative? Allow you to take theirs and then do Lord knows what with their belongings and their loved ones who may be there, or in this case, his employees? You're supposed to let you shoot him in the name of what? Equity? Fuck equity. Equity can get shot right along with you. I wish equity was standing in front of you so I could have shot both you and equity. Remember Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark? Was that Raiders? Damn it, what was that? Was that Raiders? Yeah, that was Raiders. No, or was it Last Crusade? That might have been Last Crusade, where all the Nazis were lined up and Indy just shot through all of them because they were all in one line, shot like 5 dudes at once. Which one was that? But I wish equity was here so I could have killed both of you. But unfortunately, equity lives on. Equity. Someone tell me which movie that was from. Spun Bearing 65. I agree. Equity can eat a dick. But make sure it's a big one, because I got a lot of people that should eat that same dick. Crusade. Yeah, Last Crusade. Which, by the way, was the last good Indiana Jones movie. Can we agree on that? That Crystal Skull bullshit? What? Or whatever else came after that? No, you stop at Last Crusade. Sean Connery as Indiana Jones' father was the perfect way to end that franchise. Stop. Indy? You mean a lot of danger. The shooting occurred in the area of Mulberry. The teen was taken to the hospital, was taken by police. Wait, hold on. It's the same story? I'm going to scroll down to a new story. The store manager, who has a permit to carry a concealed firearm, and the other employee were taken by police for questioning. In other gun violence, see, it's the gun, man. In other gun violence, Thursday night, a 15-year-old boy was shot in the head and the right side of his body. Hey, good job, Philly. And he's reportedly in extremely critical condition. I thought critical condition was bad. He's in extremely critical condition. Good job, Philly. You hear that? You hear that gnashing of teeth? New York, Chicago, Baltimore. You guys hear that? That's Philadelphia nipping at your heels. Chicago, you might be dethroned. And that people was good guns. Socrates Ken, my gun fires itself. That's what they say. That's what they say, just having it. It hops in your hand. You're like, whoo, I need to kill. I need to get some killing done. Jackasses. Brian Hendricks, Philadelphia or Philadelphia. It's almost there. We might have to knight Philadelphia as Philadelphia after this. They're working on it. They are working their damnedest. They're working as hard as they've ever worked before to get this title of Philadelphia. Jeez, man. Let's see here. Jeremy Correio, thank you. I have too many guns and have OCD, so I can't decide which one to use. Use them all, Jeremy. Use them all. How about that? That's my best advice to you, man. Why fight it? Use them all. It's not your fault. Once those things get around you, you just, you get all murderous and shit. It's not you, it's the guns, man. It's the guns. Not you. I said get out of here, personal responsibility. Fuck off. If you guys see personal responsibility buzzing around me, let me know. Because I don't want it. I don't need it, right? It's always somebody else's fault. Always. Let's see here. Colleen Tebow, she asked Jericho, did you get my email yesterday? Oh, yes, I did, Colleen. You mean this one right here? for your son's page, Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans, the one I'm subscribed to, yes, I did. It looks like he's picked up 4 more subs since yesterday because it was at 361. Come on, guys, help him out. He needs to get to 500 for his race this weekend. Help a brother out. So let's get to it, huh? Let's get in that ass like a bike with no seat. I am excited to play this speech by the new Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni. Oh, nice lady. So let's see. So she's giving this speech. I don't know who it's to. That's not the point. But Miss Pepsi Girl says, I love all Indiana Jones movies, but my favorite will always be The Last Crusade. I got love for The Last Crusade. It came out, 89? I was a little kid. I love that one. But my favorite is Temple of Doom, by far. Kadima. To this day, my son, I'm wrestling him, I put my hand on his chest. Kadima Shakti Day. Like trying to take his heart out. Like in the movie. Oh, this? Some more merch. More brand new designs. Roger that. Make sure you get it. mygreengear.com. I love it. Can't wait to show you guys all the shirts that got mailed to me. But one of my favorites. Roger that. If you're in the military, you already know. You probably heard it 50 million times. But in the Navy, said if I understand, roger that. So she's giving this speech, very impassioned speech, and she's basically saying what we all know. She's basically saying what we're dealing with here. And it sucks to hear that our sickness has spread. It's sad to hear that we've infected other countries, other cultures, but here it is. But it sounds like they got somebody in there who's not effing around. Colleen Tebow said, thank you very much. She says, you're the best. Thank you. No, Colleen, you are. Just make sure you lose your voice cheering for your son this weekend. I mean, not because we don't want to hear you, you know what I mean. Just cheer for your boy. But anyway, sounds like they got somebody in there who's not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Here we go. Mrs. I think she's a mom. Mrs. Giorgia Meloni, the new Prime Minister of Italy.
Come tante altre di queste domande. A monte c'è quella che ci facciamo oggi: perché la famiglia è un nemico? Perché la famiglia fa così paura? C'è una risposta unica per tutte queste domande. Perché ci definisce, perché è la nostra identità. Perché tutto quello che ci definisce in questo tempo è un nemico, per chi vorrebbe che non avessimo più un'identità e che fossimo solamente schiavi, consumatori perfetti. E allora è sotto attacco l'identità nazionale, è sotto attacco l'identità religiosa, è sotto attacco l'identità di genere, è sotto attacco l'identità familiare. Non devo potermi definire italiana, cristiana, donna, madre, no. Io devo essere cittadino X, genere X, genitore 1, genitore 2, devo essere un numero. Perché quando sarò solamente un numero, quando non avrò più un'identità, quando non avrò più radici, allora sarò lo schiavo perfetto in balia della grande speculazione finanziaria, il consumatore perfetto. E questa è la ragione per la quale oggi noi facciamo tanta paura. Questa è la ragione per la quale oggi questo appuntamento fa tanta paura. Perché noi non vogliamo essere dei numeri, noi siamo qui per dire che noi non siamo dei numeri, noi difenderemo il valore della persona umana, di ogni singola persona umana, perché ognuno di noi ha un codice genetico unico e irripetibile.
Damn. Damn, Miss Giorgia. So, what did she say? I love to hear. Italian's one of my favorite languages. Some languages I don't like. There are some languages that are a little harder to hear than others. But she's awesome. And what she said was, this is about what we're doing here today. Why is the family an enemy? Why is the family so frightening? There is a single answer to these questions, because it is our identity. because it defines us. Because everything that defines us is now under attack. They attack national identity. They attack religious identity. They attack gender identity. And they attack family identity. I can't define myself as an Italian, Christian, woman, a mother. I must be a citizen X, a gender X, parent 1, or parent 2. I must be a number because when I am a number, and only a number, then I no longer have an identity or root. Then I will be the perfect slave at the mercy of financial speculators, the perfect consumer. Damn! Now, it doesn't matter what language those words come in. Those are powerful words. And that's exactly what we're dealing with here. That's why the mainstream mediocres are crying in their damn Cheerios, because somebody else around the world has woken up to this shit and is now waking up the populace. Because, you know, if you're a nationalist, somehow that's a bad thing. When did that become a bad thing? Let's see what the dictionary definition is of a nationalist. Nationalist.
Here's the definition of nationalist. A person who strongly identifies with their own nation and vigorously supports its interests, especially to the exclusion or detriment of the interests of other nations.
What's wrong with that? A person who strongly identifies with their own nation and vigorously supports its interests, especially to the exclusion or detriment of the interests of other nations. Well, and if that's the definition, when you call yourself a familyist or an individualist, because you strongly identify with your own family or yourself and vigorously support its interests, doesn't that sound like all of us? Isn't that something we should all be when it comes to our country and our culture? Which is the best culture in the world? Jericho, you said American culture is the best culture? Yeah, I did. Prove me wrong. You can't. But that's why these fools are jumping up and down and calling her a fascist. Oh, they like to bring that word out. She's a fascist. And what happened to all this empowerment and women and tearing down the patriarchy and shit? You got one of your sisters in vagina over there becoming the first female prime minister of Italy. Some might call that a chauvinist culture. You got it over. How come you guys aren't celebrating? How come all you guys aren't hashtag Georgia? How come you haven't all turned your Instagram profile picture into a pink square or some shit? Why are you calling her all these names, comparing her to Musollini? You mean the dictator who partnered with Hitler in World War II? That's what this woman is? How? And no matter what she is, the people of Italy want her. So it doesn't matter what you think. The people of Italy elected her. That's who they want. And so far, she sounds pretty damn good. She said, why is the family an enemy? Do they not present the family as an enemy here? Does BLM not say that they are Marxist and that the nuclear family is a Western European ideal? I don't give a fuck where it comes from. It's good for you. Why is the family so frightening? Why at every turn are they trying to tear down and disparage and destroy and erode the family? They do this shit with our kids at school. You can have a mommy and a mommy, or a daddy and a daddy. You can have 2 mommies, 2 daddies, 3 mommies, 4 daddies. No, you can't. That shit's weird. I've said it here before and I believe it. If 2 gay people adopt a kid or have a kid, that's selfish, because your kid needs a mother and a father. If it takes 2, if it takes 1 of each to make it, it takes 1 of each to raise it. Love is not everything. It's part of it. It's important, but it's not everything. You're not going to go out in the world and be a productive member of society just because your parents loved you. No structure, no discipline, no lessons, just love. It's not going to cut it. There is a single answer to the question, because it is our identity. Because it defines us. Because everything that defines us is now under attack. Sound familiar? Does that sound familiar to anybody? And down here where she says, If I no longer have an identity or a root, then I will be the perfect slave at the mercy of financial speculators, the perfect consumer. Take away all our definition, physically, mentally, culturally. No more. You don't have a nose and lips and eyes and cheekbones and a jawline and shoulders. No. You're just Barbie. You're a faceless Barbie. No definition, maybe a lump up here, smooth crotch, no men, no women, just beige. We're just beige, non-binary, unisex, everybody in the pool, mixed up mush. My kids, when they were really little and they would be painting, inevitably they would take the paintbrush, we were doing watercolors or whatever, and they would mix all the colors together, and it would be this beigey kind of reddish hue, ugly shit. It was gross. We're not supposed to all just be, we have individual traits. We have individual experiences. We have men, we have women. Because when they start blurring lines, then they can blur all of them. All the lines, not racially, but sexually. Their ultimate goal is unfettered access to our kids. Don't get it twisted. When you look at all these cults and shit, what do they have? There's always some weird sexual shit. You can't be promoted in this cult unless you let me marry your 10-year-old daughter or some weird shit like that. It's always sexual. The ultimate goal is their sexual depravity. And there's the ultimate taboo is children. What are we to protect more fiercely than our children? Nothing. We all heard this story back in the 80s or something, where some lady, she got in an accident, her car flipped over, and she picked that shit up to save her child. You will never fight for something, try for something, change for something more than your kids. Nothing else will give you that motivation. And in some situations, your children don't even motivate you. You know any drug addicts, alcoholics, who don't care about their kids, only focused on their addiction? So it doesn't always do that. But in a lot of cases, your kids will make you change. They make you change the way you view the world. You try for them. You try to change yourself for them. You try to give them better than what you had. It's a delicate balance, giving your kid a better life than you had, because parenting is a buffet. You take what you were raised with, that's the buffet, what you were raised with. And you try to pick out the bad shit. No, shouldn't have done that. A little too much of this. That was fucked up. You try to take that out and give your kids a new buffet. So when they turn around to the buffet that you were to them, I don't got to pick out too much. Got plenty of love, got some discipline, had a little more money this time, wasn't broke, wasn't poor. My parents didn't drink, didn't beat me, all that kind of shit. All the bad things that you deal with as a child, potentially. So you hope to have a better buffet for your kids when they become parents. That's the goal. But they don't want that. They want to be the parent. They want to come in. No, we got it. We'll educate them. We'll feed them. We'll house them. We'll clothe them. Get them on EBT. We'll pay for it. You can buy all your shit you want. We'll take care of it all. All you have to do is take this long, bumpy federal nipple, stick it in your mouth, and enjoy the contents of this veiny tit. Go ahead. Here you go. Latch on. That's it. We'll take care of you from cradle to grave. They can't have us being individuals. They can't have us thinking for ourselves, because if we think for ourselves, we're not falling for the bullshit. We're not going to let them take over. But if you see all of these people, all these lefty jackasses talking about she's a fascist and Musollini and all this shit, you know she's going to do good. You know she's a good person, because they're against it. They are evil. They are dog shit. If CNN is talking bad about them, they're great. I saw, and it was hard to watch, but I did it. I watched a few interviews, panels on CNN, Communist News Network. And it was all the same shit. Bashing her. She's a fascist. Her dad was a communist, just like Mussolini. Remember the time when you called somebody something like that? When you said some leader was Hitler? People were like, hey, Hitler? Hey, come on. That's a little racist. Oh, hey, but you better have some proof for that. You calling somebody racist? Remember when we used to have proof? You had to prove shit. You had to substantiate your claims. Not anymore. Everybody's Hitler. If no matter what you do, everybody's Hitler. Everything is racist. You got my order wrong. Racist. You're Hitler. You took too long to change the oil in my car. You said it would take 20 minutes. It took 30 minutes. You are Hitler, Jiffy Lube. Everything is racist. Everybody's Hitler. You're at your kid's baseball game. The umpire calls a strike. You don't think it was Hitler. You're racist. Everything. So it takes the sting out of it. It doesn't mean anything anymore. And when you call somebody that, when you call somebody a Hitler, how do they come back from that? That when you paint somebody with that brush, now it's beyond talking. Now it's okay to hurt them because they're a Nazi. What's worse than a Nazi? It's fucking disgusting. Mary Ann S., thank you. She says, I have a family in Italy and we are all excited for Giorgia Meloni. Liberta, liberta, liberta. Hey, go Italy. One of them, I saw a video the other day, maybe yesterday, day before. They climbed up on a building and took down the European Union flag and put up the Italy flag. Robert Boycourt says Hitler was on speed. I don't do speed. I actually saw a video today of Joe Rogan from Joe Rogan where he showed a video of Hitler, and he was sitting in the stands at the 36 Olympics when Jesse Owens was running up and down the track like he was on speed, but he wasn't. And Hitler was like tapping his foot, and he kept going like this with his hands, and he had one hand, like he had a cane, and it was resting between his legs, but he kept like putting his hand up and down, like in the crotch of his pants, and he was rocking back and forth, tweak your shit. He probably was on speed. I've heard shit about that before. Joyce Decker, I know you're trying to be play right now, but that's actually true. She says roads are racist, and if you listen to Pete Buttigieg, our transportation secretary, who took 2 months off for paternity leave. What are you talking about? It's two dudes. It doesn't matter if you're there, or he's there, or you're there, or you're both there. Neither one of you got tits, so you can both feed him. Leave him there with the baby and get your punk ass back to work. But anyway, Pete Buttigieg said that roads and road construction, road placement is racist. He says that the bridges are lower in bad neighborhoods, so the buses can't get out. Guys, I wish I was bullshitting you. I wish I was making this up. I wish I was being pled, but I'm not. This is what he said. He said other roads lead to opportunity. The roads in bad neighborhoods, it's like they just keep going and they keep turning. Right when you think you're going to get out, you're going to get out under the cloud of being a person of color, and you see all that sunshine over there that white people enjoy, and you're about to get to it. No, racist road. You can never get out. It's just all big circles and a maze. Black folks, Puerto Ricans, this is what he said. They can't get out. The bridges are lower and the buses can't get out. So you're assuming they all ride buses? So yes, I know there was a bit of tongue-in-cheek there, but yeah, they actually believe that. Roads are racist. Oh, fuck. Roads, guys. Roads. Just when you thought they couldn't get any stupider. Roy Lee Painter, thank you. Says, anybody see Steve? Asking for a friend. Simplify. Still looking for him, man. He's still on the back of a milk carton. The Pleminator. What up? Thank you for the Twomsky. He says, when I was a kid, if you call somebody racist, you better be ready to fight. Now that word means nothing. Yeah, it's like they, are, it. It's just a word. It has no sting. It has no meaning. And that used to be some serious shit. There used to be some serious shit because what you're telling them is the people of different races in their lives that they hate them. And they might have friends or family of different races, and you're saying that they hate those people and they love them. So I'd be upset about that too. It's like you telling me that I hate my kids. What? Tim Hill, thank you. He says, if you do ever plan on getting out of California, don't forget Indiana. We would love to have you sign Gun Up Hoosier. Hey, Indiana's cool, but see, the winter, that's where we run into issues, Tim. The winter is a sumbitch in Indiana, Midwest, period. Nico Giorgio. Thank you for the Hamilton. He says, if you listen closely, Giorgia Meloni also said FJB in her speech. I didn't write it down because I was like, wait a minute, she said what? Fuck Joe Biden. I agree 100%. I wish she did. I wish she ended it that way and just dropped the microphone. That crowd would just stay beautiful. Yes. Yes. Fuck him. Idiot. You dumb old idiot. Roy Lee Painter, again, thank you. He says, Pervitin was the stimulant Hitler was on, FYI. Was it, did it have, meth-like properties to it? It sure looked like he was on meth. Maybe that didn't exist back then. But that fool was on something. And Tim Hill, that's right. Indiana does have the constitutional carry. That's where that guy went up in the mall and shot that would-be piece of shit, that wannabe mass shooter. Blasted his ass with his girlfriend. You know he got some that night. Hey, girl, I want to take you to the mall. We're going to go shopping. Let's go. Oh, hold on a second. Boom, 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 boom. Puts it back. She was like, oh, my God, you're so manly. He had a good night. Good for him. Good for him. Yeah, we're getting out of this bitch. Don't worry. But that Pervitin, that stuff you mentioned, it had to be like meth or something, because you don't be rocking forward like that and constantly moving your fingers and shit unless you're on something. Lord German Husbando, I went to the tippy top. Nothing. I wouldn't hate on you like that. But I do recommend going with the Cash App route. If you go to my video, let me see. Can I do that now? Let's see. So try to turn that down. Let's see. I will put my Cash App link right there. So there you go, people. If YouTube is giving you problems, go ahead and hit that Cash App. Hit it anyway. Why not? Hit it, quit it. Andrea Biola, thank you. JG, you look fantastic. Great work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Andrea, thank you. Almost lost it. Thank you very much. Good to hear. I'm trying. Meat and veggies and meat, mostly steak. I can't help it. Chicken's cool. Pork is cool. But beef? So what's for dinner? Spunbearing 65. Thank you for the Hamilton. He said Hitler had cocaine, shot up his roids. I don't know. I don't think the 1930s and 40s is when I want to be getting all intravenous with shit. Needles just weren't what they are today. But yeah, man, coke, meth, both. Hitler was on some shit. Hitler was on some shit. Jeremy Correo says, don't get too skinny, JG. Hey, Jeremy, don't worry. I won't. I don't think that's possible unless I started doing meth like Hitler. Here's something somebody told me one time that was fucking weird. Don Zuxworth says, Jericho, can we pay for a meet and greet barbecue? Hey, shoot me an email, Don. JerichoGreen2018@gmail.com. Anything's possible. This is America, Don. So when I worked at the radio station, one of the salespeople, she told me she was new, and then somebody's like, she was there for a while. Somebody somehow got on the topic. She was like, oh yeah, she used to be really big, but she lost some weight. So I got to know her better, and she told me, yeah, my husband and I we both decided to get healthy, and we lost some weight, but we couldn't. She said there was like 10 pounds I just couldn't shake to get to her goal, and he had like 5 or 10 pounds or something, or less than 10 pounds to lose before his goal, and they just couldn't do it. So they decided it would be a good idea to just do some meth for a little bit. We'll do meth for a little while, we'll drop the pounds, and then we'll get off of it. I know, sounds stupid, but they both said, okay. And they did it for a while. She got off of it, and he did not. And that's why they got divorced. I was like, man, how the fuck did you think? How did you think that story was going to end? We're just going to get on meth for a little bit and then get off of it. She was able to. He was not. And that ended their marriage. I mean, yeah, will meth help you lose weight? Yes, it'll also help you lose your family and your teeth. That is a one tightrope to walk. That's a tightrope to walk, but take that tightrope and put it up 100 stories. That's the kind of tightrope that is to walk. Not very smart. Don't know what happened to her. Never met him. Hope he was able to kick the habit. Holy shit, man. Just can't shake these last few pounds. Let's get some meth. Smoke some meth, huh? That never hurt anybody. That's never destroyed any families or got anybody put in jail. Nothing like that. So I put my Cash App in there again. Let me know. Or whatever. But if YouTube ain't working for you, go ahead and use that. So that speech by Giorgia Meloni was awesome. I think she's going to be awesome. And as long as the left is saying she isn't awesome, that's how you know she is. Very simplistic way to look at things, but it's true. They're saying it's bad, it's good. So Biden's 60-minute, his 60-minute interview with, I don't know who that guy was, doesn't matter. BRJ, he says, can we elect her too? No, we can't. I think she can only serve one country at a time. I know. Wouldn't that be something? I bet you if they said, look, we will get rid of him and bring her over here right now. And she does speak great English. But she will only speak Italian. Fine, whatever. Brother Jay, okay, thank you. Yeah, fine. I don't care if I can't understand what she's saying. She'll be 100 times better. Do it. But you won't be able to do it. Get her in there. Anything is better than him. You saw the poll. 98% of people think a dead cat would do better. And not even a freshly dead one. Like the one they found under that lady's couch in Animal Hoarders. You guys ever watch that shit? Oh my goodness. Animal Hoarders? If you've seen regular Hoarders, just add 100 cats to that or more. There was one guy and a woman, they were a married couple. They had 259 cats in their house. Guys, but there's one lady in Texas. They're cleaning out her house. They lift up a couch in her living room and there were 3 dead cats under her couch. And she said, oh, that's where so-and-so went. And these were like mummified, like, fucking mummy cats. Take one of the dead mummy cats from under that lady's couch, put it in the White House, and we'll be doing great. We will be doing great. Yeah, Jeremy says he has 5 cats, and that's too many. Well, go ahead and times that by 51. They were sitting there having tea in the morning, and there were cats all over the table. There were cats on the counter. There were cats on top of the stove. There were cats sitting on his shoulders. The hair, the dander was everywhere. His tea probably had cat hair floating in it. Ugh, gross. Gross. 250 cats. I won't even get into the other ones. But yeah, so during Biden's interview with 60 Minutes, they were in the Oval Office and he's talking to him and they're doing the whole walking through the office. So, Mr. President. And Biden reaches in his pocket and he has a fucking rosary wrapped around his hand and he's rubbing the cross like this. So now you're this super Catholic. Now you're so Catholic that you carry a rosary in your pocket and you wrap it around your hand and rub the cross because you're so Catholic now? Question, Gummer in Chief. Were you a super Catholic when you were for abortion? Were you? I'm just wondering, because now you're dun 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 super Catholic. When did you become that? When did you start carrying a rosary in your pocket? So every morning when Bidenus Pervertus is woken up from his Metamucil-induced slumber by his nurse wife, Jill, first thing you do, you get up, you put your teeth in, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you get dressed, you put on your wedding ring, you put on your watch, and of course he's not doing this by himself. Jill is standing there telling him what to put on next. Your watch and everything, you put your wallet in your pants, and then you grab your rosary and you put that in your pocket too, you lying son of a bitch. I'm surprised that rosary did not burst into flames when it touched his skin. Were you a super Catholic when you were supporting abortion? Were you a super Catholic yesterday when you tweeted that if you can just get a little more Democrat support and hold on to the House and Senate, you promise that you will codify Roe v. Wade into law and bring us back to the good old days when you could snuff out a baby's life just cuz. Ew, I don't want it. Hashtag get it out. Right? Were you a super Catholic when you tweeted that yesterday? Well, what are you talking about? What about incest and rape? You know how rare that is? Thank God that is super rare in our country. How come people aren't happy about that? Why do they keep constantly trying to bring that up as a legitimate means for abortion? There are people whose mothers were raped and they were products of rape and they're alive here today and they're thankful for it. What about that shit? They try to make you think that women get abortions because they were raped or because of incest. That's bullshit. Over 90% of abortions are performed because of inconvenience. You know, hot girl summer. Not right now. I don't want to. I love my body the way it is. That's why. It is a form of birth control. How do we have 1 million babies aborted every year in this country and it's not used as a form of birth control? You mean to tell me there's 1 million rapes and incest resulting in pregnancies every year? No. Wrong. There's no value for life. That's why they put Planned Parenthood buildings in poor neighborhoods. You saw the video that I talked about where the girl was made a song. It's called, she said, I got murder on my mind. She was twerking outside of a Planned Parenthood. She said, I'm going to go get an abortion. I'm headed to the clinic. Fuck this baby. That's why we have 1 million abortions a year. There's no value of life. Is there a Planned Parenthood on Wilshire Boulevard? Is there a Planned Parenthood in Buckhead or the Upper East Side? No, because Business 101 is making your product easy to get to. So since these are the people who you want to be your customers, put your businesses near them. Don't make them travel wide and far, far and wide. No, make it easy. Make it easy for them. Make it within walking distance. Maybe if you hurry, you can still get there while it's dripping down your leg. Disgusting. But he's super Catholic. I keep a rosary in my pocket. You never know. You don't keep no damn rosary in your pocket. As soon as they cut that, you were like, ew, Get this thing away from me. Jill, what is that? With the beads on it and the cross thing. You were like Nosferatu. The long ass skinny sharp fingernails, the long skinny hand, almost like shadow-like fingers. But now you're super Catholic. You keep a rosary in your pocket. Shut the fuck up. Who believed that? Biden didn't even believe that. He didn't even know it was in his pocket. He didn't even wrap it around his hand. If you look at the other camera angle, Jill's probably over there taking his hand over. Hey, what's going on here? Taking his hand out of his pocket and wrapping it around his pocket and then putting his thumb on the cross and making him move his thumb back and forth. He don't do shit by himself. You know why? Because he's had 3 aneurysms and a pulmonary embolism. That's why. What brain can take that and still function at 100%? Stop. But actually, I forgot to mention that when I mentioned that in my live, when I talked about it. I was like, rosary? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Carry a rosary, you son of a bitch. Miss S66, thank you for that. Preach. You can't be pro killing babies and be a Catholic. You can't have your cake and abort it too. You can't. Now, you don't have to believe in religion. You don't have to. There's no law. Nobody's going to do anything to you. Nobody cares. But if you do, most religions, especially mainstream religions, come with an owner's guide, an owner's manual, if you will. Bible, Quran. What's the other one? Bible, Quran. Trying to think what Jewish people call their Bible. The Torah. Bible, Quran, Torah. No, Heidi Booth. Heidi Booth, very play. Once again, being play. Starting play activity here. Everything was going fine. Then Heidi Booth puts the rosary that was probably actually Hunter's anal beads. Maybe that's why he kept smelling them. Hunter's a little old for his taste, but he does have a history of doing inappropriate things with his kids. All right, hey, don't blame me. His own daughter wrote in her diary that she left behind at a rehabilitation facility, and she said that she used to shower with her dad, and it was inappropriate. I didn't make that up. Don't come after me. Thank you, Heidi Booth, for being the bigger person. She says, I'm sorry, JG. That's all I want. I just want to have one day where the comment section doesn't take a left into Playville. That's all I want. Can we do that? Not today. Tammy already ruined, or Heidi already ruined it. Tammy, you're good. I just saw your name. That's why I said. Heidi ruined it for today. So maybe tomorrow, fresh start, no play behavior. What do you think, comment section? But yeah, I didn't make that up. She wrote it in her diary. Whether or not it's true, hopefully we'll find out someday. But the fact is, she wrote it in her diary. Okay, Brian King B. Falcon, you're talking a big game. He says, okay, we'll stop playing. Get it? Play on words. I got that. We'll see. Today, it don't matter. Heidi she already messed it up. Tomorrow, let's see what we can do. Lord German Husbando, I make no promises. Great. That gives me hope for tomorrow, Lord German Husbando. Thank you very much. You guys, you people. You people. Okay, Brother Jay says, Jews say Tanakh too and just the Bible. Okay, so the Jews have the Bible too. But yeah, and all those major books, all the major religions books, and I'm sure even some not so major religions have some kind of guide of how you're supposed to behave, how you're supposed to live your life, the rules and regulations of living under the umbrella of whatever religion you pick. La Bounty, what up? So if you choose to be a part of that religion, well, you just can't do what you want. You have to live within the confines of that religion. And if you are a Catholic, And a lot of these other religions, they don't believe in killing people. So, especially babies who are defenseless. Just saying. So, if you want to be not Catholic, do what you want, fine. But if you're going to claim this Catholicism, if you're going to drape yourself in the robe of religion, then you have to behave as such. And you can't be talking, I have a rosary in my pocket, but if you give me more support, I'll make it legal to kill your kids. That doesn't make sense. That does not compute, Sloppy Joe. And when I say Sloppy Joe, I don't want you guys to think like his appearance is sloppy. I mean, this is sloppy. This is just a mess. Like if you take a bucket of a 5-gallon bucket and fill it halfway with diarrhea, and it's like just go like this and slosh it around, that's what's inside his head. Just shit sloshing around. Sloppy. Oh, Sloppy Joe. Oh man. That guy's something else. So excuse me. Hydrate. Again, shout out to everybody in Florida bracing for Hurricane Ivan. But again, because of Biden's pervertis's diligent work, his intelligence, his leadership, that's what they said. The Build Back Better plan and the Inflation Reduction Act, that hurricane will be a little softer. It'll be a little more tame, all because of him. So make sure you get your thank you letters in the mail. It's easy. The address, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C., blah, blah, blah. Or Hurricane Ian. What did I say? I don't remember what I said. Hope it was funny. Sorry, Sweet Rose in 1987. She said she was eating. Sorry about that. I don't remember what I said, but it is Hurricane Ian. Majestic Sevens said, when I was 12 and a man looked at me weird, my dad would give out a whooping on the way. I think what you meant by that, you're referring to the other day when Biden looked at a woman in the front row and said, hey, I know her. We got a lot done. I was 30 and she was 12. It's fucking weird. Yeah, that was a very that comment was out of nowhere. Did I say Hurricane Ivan? Yeah, Hurricane Ivan. That was back in the day, right? This is Hurricane Ian. It's different. This one's a little different, but it'll be much different because Hurricane Ivan was destructive. This one won't be because Biden took care of it. Biden took care of it. We hooked you guys up, Florida. All the bad things you guys been doing, sending those illegals to Martha's Vineyard, you dicks. And he still took care of you and made that hurricane calm down. What's up, Whitney? Bosler. She says, I'm pretty sure Biden is a pedophile. What makes you think that? What proof do you have? Proof keeps coming. You think you'd stop like, oh, okay, we got this proof. No, it's constantly updating. Ear Mode says, dude, I just threw up in my mouth over a sloppy comment. Sorry about that. That's why I do it at 1 p.m. It's after lunch. I didn't think a lot of people would be eating right now. Sorry about that. But you know how disgusting this fool is. You know how disgusting he is. So I have to describe him in a disgusting way. And all of his cohorts. So yeah, Dahmer, it's a new, what's it, a series? Let's see. Dahmer. Oops. Netflix. So it's a season, it's a series. And I like watching those murder or serial killer documentaries. Like I did watch the one on Bundy and Richard Ramirez, John Wayne Gacy, because that just blows my mind. I'm just flabbergasted at people's capacity for evil. God, this shit just It goes on forever. It's unstoppable. Katy Perry and Kesha get slammed for Jeffrey Dahmer references in songs amid Monster release on Netflix. So I guess they mentioned Jeffrey Dahmer. What the? Although serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer is long deceased, his name has caused a buzz again in the news, and this time in conjunction with pop stars Katy Perry and Kesha. In the wake of Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story being released just under a week ago on Netflix, climbing to the top spot on the streaming service, fans are critical of two songs sung by Perry and Kesha that made crude references to the cannibalistic acts of Jeffrey Dahmer. Perry's song Dark Horse featuring Juicy J was released in 2013. That's almost 10 years ago. While Kesha's Cannibal debuted in 2010. See, once you give them an inch, they will fuck you for a mile. Now they're going back in the archives. Katy Perry was like, what, 19 or 20, 10 years ago? How old was Kesha? Damn near 13 years ago, 12 years ago. How old were these people? See, shit was different back then. Shit was different. In Perry's song, the lyrics in question are actually not sung by the American Idol judge herself, but rather rapped by Juicy J. He says, she's a beast. I call her Karma. Come back. She eats your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay. Exactly. Nobody cares because Jeffrey Dahmer died or he did his shit back in 1991? And somebody ended up killing him in prison 10 plus years ago or something. One person wrote on Twitter, it still upsets me when I hear the line in the song Dark Horse. She eats your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer, and I always make my daughter turn the station. It's so disrespectful to the victims' families. I hope people remember them while watching Netflix. Sorry for their losses. Like you give a fuck, lady. Who writes, if you're not related to a victim of Jeffrey Dahmer, why do you give a shit if somebody mentions him in a fucking song? And, bitch, what station are you listening to where they play Katy Perry's song so much that every time it comes on, your daughter changes the station? How about you find a new station to listen to, you moron? I fucking can't stand people. Someone else says, why isn't anyone calling out Katy Perry for allowing such a vile and terrible lyric to be included in one of her hit songs? Jeffrey was a notorious serial killer, and Katy chose to romanticize his criminal and inhumane actions. I actually feel sick to my stomach. She needs to apologize. No. If you're a man who wrote this, throw your man card in the fireplace, because no man should ever act like this over the lyrics like this in a song. Number two, if you're a woman, go get a hysterectomy, because I don't want you making any other woke bitch-ass babies like yourself. What the? Her hit song. So there's no problem. There's no problem with Retardie B making a song about her moist birth canal, or her talking about drugging men and robbing them when she was a stripper. That's cool. Or all the rap songs that come on the radio talking about murder and selling drugs. That's cool. Or infidelity. That's fine. But you bring up a deceased serial killer? How dare you? Where are my pearls so I can clutch them? Heavens to Megatroid. Get the... Oh, I can't stand what they're trying to make this culture. 2010 and 2013. Weak. But the Alphabet Soup Group and the Ku Klux Klans are all upset. Ooh, the Washington Post says, analysis, Dahmer is not a story that needs retelling. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Here's another chance. They're dredging up the victim's sister. Jeez. Now, see, If they're related to the victim, I want to hear I'll listen to what you have to say, because this might strike a chord with you. But some random dumbass who just wants to complain about something, shut up. The Netflix Jeffrey Dahmer series has upset a lot of people. Shut up. That's because he was part of the soup group. If he wasn't, they wouldn't give a shit. Fucking gross. Let me go in here and hang out with my youngins. Let me go hang out with my people. These people are stupid. You need to apologize because, like, that's not cool. And my daughter's in the car. I gotta, like, turn on the radio because, like, I don't want her to hear it. Shut up. Oh, people make me so mad. I should let people make me mad like this. But I do. Oh, I do. Oh, man. Thank you, guys. What a great live that was. You were great. I was great. We were great. And if you want to get merch like this, look at that. Roger that. And other ones, mygreengear.com. Don't you worry. Here we go. I'm going to put the link right here. Here we go. Boom. Link it. Link it up. Show me your link. Hey, show me your link. There you go. Right here. There's the link. Yeah, check it out. mygreengear.com. Don't forget 15% off for a limited time. Yes, fitting. mygreengear.com. Check it out. Also, Cash App. I put it in there too. $ Jericho Green 1. And tomorrow, what the hell are they going to be doing tomorrow? I already got shit written down. It's going to be a good one. This whole week is going to be good. I can't wait. Say it with me, damn it. You know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net and mygreengear.com. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.